This is actually a computer I got off eBay that was not really expensive. I paid at least $27 for it and got it off eBay, and it actually is pretty neat. It's actually a big, thin client. It's about the size of my hand, about the size of a single human hand, about that large. But this is what it looks like. I just thought I'd go live on a video directly so you could actually see in real time and not have to make a single recorded video to upload to YouTube. But this is what it looks like. I've covered thin clients at least once before in 2019, 2018. I've covered one before that was a 32-bit single core thin client. It was a Dell FX170 thin client with Windows 7 embedded standard on it, and that was a single thin client that was a 32-bit single core thin client that was not that great. The performance of it was a little sluggish, but I was able to get Windows XP on the Dell FX170 thin client. I was able to get Windows XP installed on it and run on it correctly. I was able to get that to work. I got Windows 10 32-bit to run on it. And I even got Debian GNU Linux installed to run on it, which worked, but the system was still a little sluggish given there was a single core Intel Atom thin client. This one I have is a Hewlett Packard refurbished from eBay. Notice it shows the sticker Win7E, Windows 7 embedded, but it's not. It's got HP Thin Pro on here. I've contacted the seller, the company, and I'll tell you the company name, but I directly told them not to put Windows 7 embedded standard on here because Windows 7 is insecure and outdated, and most web browsers will no longer support Windows 7. The company it comes from that I ordered it, the seller is IT Parts Express Store, a US based company in Michigan, way up there. And I ordered it and got it shipped down here. So this is it. This is actually the thin client that's got two display ports right here. So this could be used as a DisplayPort monitor or a DisplayPort HDMI converter adapter, VGA, four USB 2.0 ports, and the power jack, Kensington lock slots, things like that. It's got a Ethernet port on it. Inside is a 16 gigabyte flash SSD M.2 module right here. On most thin clients, like HP ones, will have a little pull-out card right here on the side. You would put your fingernail right there and slide this outward. Let me just move the camera off screen, make sure it ain't showing anything it shouldn't be showing. It's showing a Windows 7 embedded. Cover that sticker part up. But this is it. This is the thin client that's got a little pull-out card in the back of it. And the voltage is 19.5 volts, 3 amps. It needs a 19 volt, 3 amp power supply to run it properly. It won't run below 19 volts, but at least 18 to 19 volts. And it needs 3 amps to run correctly, but this is it. So it's possible to power a step-down voltage converter to take 19 and 3 amps to run this off of a lead-acid battery, off two of them. So this is a pull-out tab thing that you slide out and you slide it back to close it. The mounts for the thin client are right here, so you can mount the thin client there. I'm missing the bracket mount that the eBay sellers told me that they don't have anymore, but they provide a cubicle mount for like $5 extra. So I'm gonna have to get go to eBay and get a HP T520 thin client bracket mount for that, or these two holes there. This thing is actually got some heft to it because it's made of metal and it's got the circuit board inside. But there's the power button. You press right there to automatically turn it on. There's the SSD indicator light. There's the USB 3.0. Two USB 3.0s in the front. You've got the headphone, mic, and and the HP logo. That's about it. Let me go get a screwdriver and I'll show you the innards of this thing. Be right back. I have to go get a screwdriver to take the lid off to show you the innards of the thin client, like the actual innard pieces of it. This uses screws to hold the lid on. We drop the screws down in the little cup holder thing in the living room. It would stink if the screw holes or if the screws got completely stripped to the point you can't even open it no more. But hold on while I get the screw off the last one. And just put the screwdriver down there. It does come apart for easy servicing and access to it. And I think I'm forgetting something, that I gotta remove some more screws on one side. So hold on while I get to that. Yep, I'm forgetting something, that there's a 4 set of screws on the other side that hold the top on. So hold on while I get to another screwdriver. I've got the phone down so I can do this. Let me see if I have to remove a set of 4 screws that are Torx to remove the top cover. See if that does it. Hold on. Let me see. I'll put those screws right there. I'm trying to unlift the cover so I can show you the innard workings of this. There. Oh, it's a set of Torx screws that hold the top cover on. Okay, that's correct. This is what it looks like on the inside. So as you can see, there is the SSD module right there. That is the original flash module. This does support a 2280 or at least a 2240, but this one's a shorter flash module right there I'm going to take out. So what I'm going to do is take off that. The Torx screws hold the top cover on, and there's 4 more set of screws that hold the back panel on too. So that would have to come off. But I'm going to show you its innards. That one needs a smaller Torx to undo the SSD mount inside. So to replace the SSD, that screw right there has to come out. That little metal thing right there has to come undone. So I would have to get an Allen wrench just to, yeah, that's too big of a thing. So I'm going to have to get an Allen wrench to get that. Hold on. I'm gonna have to get an Allen wrench because an SSD is held in by an Allen wrench screw. So hold on. So while I'm taking this apart, I gotta have two hands for this, but there's a screw that holds that SSD in place, so I would have to use a screwdriver to take out that. Let me take out the circuit board. There is an onboard speaker that is directly on the front, so let me just gently disconnect its wire. Without damaging it. And now I'm going to pop out the entire system board to show you. Oops, dropped the screw down in there. That's okay, the screw shouldn't do much damage because it's just a single board and it's small. So what I'm going to do is take out the screw that holds the shunt on, or take out the screws that hold the system board inside. There's a series of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 screws that hold the main board in place in its entirety. So I'm just drop to not lose the screws to the thing. Drop the screws safely somewhere I can find them. So hold on while I do this. I have the TV muted in the background to avoid YouTube copyright issues since I'm going to do a live stream and the TV is on and I don't want any additional background noises captured in the video that could cause trouble. Let me just take out the board. This does use an external AC adapter, so it's not going to cause any issue. Okay, something is preventing the board from coming out all the way. But I'm going to gently just get the board out without breaking something. I can figure out how to. Oops, I don't want to bend the heat sink fins apart. Yeah, the heat sink fins I got to be careful of because that's not something you want to go trying to mess with the heat sink. But anyway, that's close as I'm going to get. I'm not going to go any further than that by removing the main board assembly, not trying to get it all the way out because I don't want to risk damaging anything, but hold on, let me re-screw it back together again. Let me just put the board back in, but leave it apart, the lid off, to show you what it looks like on the inside. I've got to put the phone down for this because it requires a two-hand operation. It requires... I'm doing this live in real time. Got to continue to do this. So let me pause and I'll get back to you as soon as... Hold on, I continue to reassemble the board back in. Let's see. There are 5 screws that hold this, or actually 5 of them that hold the main board together to the metal part on the computer. It is a thin client, so I want to just at least. I had to look underneath the main board to see the processor and heat sink assembly. Let me just make sure it's all adhered back together again. Okay, that as close as I'm gonna get to the underside where the heat sink is, but this is it. You've got the RAM, which is a 4 GB module that is actually a different SODIMM memory module that uses a slightly wider edge connection right there. So some other memory modules won't fit there. It's using DDR3, but this is it. That big bracket there, you see that X bracket is the CPU. Right here, the AMD embedded dual core CPU right underneath that metal bracket. Here's some other parts of the board. There's a jumper thing. Here's the heat sink. It is 16 gigs right there. That's a 16 gig SSD that can be replaced with a different one. But this one is actually utilizing a notched one. There's like a notch right there where you can see it on that side. That one's unnotched, so this can most likely use a M.2 Wi-Fi card where that smaller, shorter connector is. A Wi-Fi card module would go there. That's a lithium battery right there. That's a CMOS button. But this is pretty much it. So this is where all the hot air comes from the processor. I'm not going to demonstrate the thin operating system called HP Pro Thin OS. The seller that refurbishes these, you can tell them which operating system you want: Flash, HP Thin Pro OS, or Windows 7 Embedded Standard. I specifically told the seller to not put Windows 7E or Windows 7 Embedded on here. I told them not to do that just because I told them not to, so that's about it. But other than that, on some computers called Nuvoton, I googled up this name and it turns out it's a chip that is like a chip maker. But this chip is seen on some HP computers and other computers that may have the chip that says Nuvoton on the top of it.